The sound of shattered glass echoed through the penthouse as Paige Fairchild's priceless Ming Dynasty vase crashed to the marble floor, fragments scattering like her carefully constructed life. This wasn't how moving day was supposed to go. At 34, with a net worth exceeding $8 billion, Paige had expected efficiency, not chaos. Instead, the elite moving company she'd hired had sent 3 hungover college students who treated her art collection like yard sale finds. "That's it, get out." Paige's voice sliced through the air as she pointed toward the elevator. "Your company will be hearing from my lawyers." The movers shuffled out, leaving Paige alone with half-packed boxes, bubble wrap, and the wreckage of her vase. She pressed her fingers to her temples, trying to ward off the migraine that threatened. Her phone buzzed with another message from her executive board. They needed the merger paperwork by tomorrow, moving day or not. Her new home across town remained empty, waiting, while her current penthouse had to be vacated by midnight for the next tenant. Desperate, Paige opened the building's community app. She needed help now. She typed quickly, "Emergency moving assistance needed today. Will pay generously." Professional care required for art collection and antiques. She hit send, then slumped onto her Italian leather sofa. 12 miles away, in a modest 2-bedroom apartment with peeling paint and a persistent leak in the bathroom ceiling, Tyler Donovan stared at his bank account balance. $47.32. Not enough for the electricity bill due tomorrow, let alone the rent that was already 5 days late. The construction company he'd been working for had gone bankrupt last month, leaving him without a paycheck and with limited prospects. "Dad, are we having dinner soon?" 8-year-old Lily peered around the corner, her blonde hair pulled into messy braids she'd attempted herself. Tyler quickly closed the banking app and smiled. "You bet, kiddo. How does mac and cheese sound?" "Again." Lily wrinkled her nose but smiled. "Can we at least add those little hot dogs this time? You drive a hard bargain." Tyler ruffled her hair, grateful for the half package of hot dogs in the refrigerator. At 36, being a single father wasn't what he'd planned. But after his wife, Emma, had died from cancer 3 years ago, he and Lily had become an inseparable team. Tyler's phone buzzed with a notification from the Odd Jobs app he'd signed up for weeks ago. He hadn't received a single offer until now. The payment offered for the emergency moving job made his eyes widen more than enough to cover rent, utilities, and groceries for the month. The address belonged to one of the most exclusive buildings in the city. "Lily, how would you feel about helping your old man move some boxes this afternoon? Mrs. Watkins said she could watch you." Lily looked up from her worn copy of Harry Potter. "Is it a paying job?" "Yeah, a good one." "Then go, Dad, I'll be fine." She gave him a serious look beyond her years. "We need the money, right?" Tyler's heart squeezed. His daughter shouldn't have to worry about finances. "It's just a job, sweetie, but afterward maybe we can get ice cream." Lily's face brightened. "With sprinkles." "Is there any other way to have ice cream?" He texted his neighbor, grateful when she immediately agreed to watch Lily. An hour later, Tyler stood in the gleaming marble lobby of the Pinnacle Towers, feeling distinctly out of place in his worn jeans and faded flannel shirt. The security guard eyed him suspiciously until he showed the job confirmation on his phone. "Miss Fairchild is on the top floor," the guard said, his tone suggesting Tyler didn't belong anywhere near the penthouse. When the elevator doors opened directly into Paige's apartment, Tyler momentarily forgot how to breathe. Floor-to-ceiling windows showcased panoramic city views. Modern artwork dotted the walls, and despite the moving boxes, the space exuded wealth and sophistication. A woman stood with her back to him, speaking rapidly into a phone, her dark hair cascading down her back in perfect waves. She wore fitted jeans that probably cost more than his monthly rent and a simple white blouse that somehow looked anything but simple. "I don't care what the board thinks, Graham. The merger paperwork will be ready when I deliver it. I've never missed a deadline." She turned, noticing Tyler, and her eyes widened slightly. "I need to go. My moving help is here." She disconnected the call and assessed him with piercing blue eyes. "You're from the community app?" she asked, clearly surprised to see one person instead of a team. "Yes, madam, Tyler Donovan." He extended his hand, which she took after a brief hesitation. Paige Fairchild, I was expecting a company. Just me, I'm afraid, but I've got experience with moving. Worked construction for 15 years, so I know how to handle things carefully. He noticed the broken vase on the floor. Though it looks like someone already had trouble with that, a flicker of emotion crossed her face. Yes, well, that's why I needed someone new. The previous movers were incompetent. Tyler surveyed the apartment. Where's everything going? Paige handed him an address for a brownstone across town. I purchased it last month. The renovation just finished. Downsizing. He asked, surprised that a woman who clearly had wealth would move from this penthouse to a brownstone. She seemed taken aback by the question, as if not used to personal inquiries. Actually, yes, this place never felt like home. She gestured to the half-packed boxes. I need everything packed, transported, and unpacked by tonight. Tyler's eyes widened. That's a tall order for one person. The payment will reflect the urgency, triple the rate on the app. She paused. Can you handle it? The amount she offered would cover not just his immediate bills, but give him breathing room for months. Yes, I can handle it. I'll need to rent a truck. I have one reserved. The keys are with the concierge. She hesitated. I have meetings I can't reschedule, but I'll return by 6 to help with the unpacking. Tyler nodded, already mentally organizing the task. I'll start with the art and fragiles. For the first time, Paige smiled, a small, genuine curve of her lips that transformed her face from merely beautiful to breathtaking. Thank you. Most of it's labeled, but if you have questions, I'll text you, he finished. Don't worry, Miss Fairchild, your things are in good hands. She gathered her laptop and a sleek briefcase. Please call me Paige, and thank you, Tyler. After she left, Tyler stood for a moment, taking in the surreal situation. Then he got to work, methodically wrapping each artwork, labeling boxes with detailed descriptions, and creating a loading system that would maximize space while protecting delicate items. As he packed, he couldn't help noticing the paradox of Paige's life. Despite the luxury surrounding her, personal items were scarce. No family photos adorned the walls. The kitchen barely looked used. It was as if she merely existed in the space rather than lived in it. By the time she returned at 6:30, Tyler had moved most of her belongings to the brownstone, arranging furniture based on the floor plan she'd texted him. When Paige walked through the door of her new home, she froze, taking in the transformation. You did all this? She asked, her voice soft with surprise. I hope it's okay. I followed the layout you sent, but I figured you might want to adjust things. She walked through the rooms, trailing her fingers over furniture positioned exactly where she'd planned it. In the living room, her art collection was arranged on the walls, not where she'd indicated in her notes, but in a more harmonious configuration that complemented the space. You rearranged the art, she said, not accusingly, but with curiosity. Tyler rubbed the back of his neck. I hope that's all right. The light hits differently here than in the penthouse. This arrangement shows off the colors better. Paige turned to him, genuinely surprised. You know about art. My wife was an artist, he said simply. I learned a lot from her. Paige asked softly. She died. Cancer. 3 years ago, Paige's professional mask slipped, revealing genuine compassion. I'm so sorry. Thank you. Tyler gestured to a large, abstract canvas. This Rothman piece, Emma would have loved it. The way he layered color to create depth is remarkable. Paige studied him with new interest. Most people think it's just random splashes of paint. Nothing random about it. It's controlled chaos like life, I suppose. He checked his watch. I should finish bringing up the last few boxes. Have you eaten? Paige asked suddenly. I could order something. Tyler thought of Lily waiting at the neighbors. Actually, I need to pick up my daughter soon. She's 8, and I promised her ice cream after work. You have a daughter. Paige seemed genuinely surprised, as if the concept of him having a family hadn't occurred to her. Lily, she's my whole world. He pulled out his phone and showed Paige a picture of a gap-toothed girl with his same sandy brown hair and bright green eyes. Paige's expression softened as she looked at the photo. She has your smile. And her mother's stubborn streak, Tyler said with a fond laugh. Mrs. Watkins, our neighbor, is watching her, but I should get going soon. Of course. Paige hesitated. Let me help with the last boxes, it'll go faster with two of us. Together, they brought up the remaining items, working in comfortable silence. Tyler noticed how Paige handled her own belongings with care but detachment until she unwrapped a small, worn wooden box. "This looks special," he commented as she cradled it. "It was my grandmother's. The only thing I have from her." She opened it, revealing a simple pearl necklace. She was the only one who. Paige stopped herself. "It doesn't matter. Where should this go?" "Somewhere safe. Somewhere you'll see it every day," Tyler suggested. Paige placed it on her bedside table, a solitary personal item amid the designer decor. As Tyler prepared to leave, Paige transferred the agreed-upon payment plus a generous bonus to his account. "Thank you for today," she said. "You saved me." "Just doing my job," Tyler replied, though they both knew he'd gone far beyond the basic requirements. "Your daughter is lucky to have a father who works so hard for her." Tyler's smile turned wistful. "I'm the lucky one." He hesitated at the door. "If you need help settling in or hanging anything else, just let me know." "I will," Paige said, though they both knew the wealthy rarely called on the same service providers twice. 3 days later, Tyler was patching the ceiling in Lily's bedroom when his phone buzzed with a notification from the Odd Jobs app. Paige Fairchild was requesting him specifically. When he arrived at the brownstone that afternoon, Paige answered the door in casual clothes jeans and a simple sweater that probably cost more than his entire wardrobe but made her look remarkably approachable. "Thanks for coming," she said, leading him inside. "I need help with a few things I couldn't manage on my own." The few things turned out to be installing ceiling hooks for plants, mounting shelves, and hanging the remaining artwork. Tasks any handyman could handle, but she'd asked for him. As he worked, Paige brought him coffee and asked questions about his construction experience. Their conversation flowed easily without the awkwardness of their different circumstances. "How long were you married?" she asked as he secured a shelf in her home office. 10 years. We met in college." He smiled at the memory. "I was studying engineering before I dropped out to take a construction job that paid better. Emma was in art school." "You didn't finish your degree," Tyler tightened the final bracket. "Life happened. Emma got pregnant with Lily. We needed steady income and construction paid well. I planned to go back eventually, but..." He shrugged. "Plans change." "They certainly do," Paige said quietly, handing him another coffee. "I never planned to run my father's company. I was supposed to be an architect." Tyler looked at her with surprise. "What happened?" "My parents died in a plane crash when I was 25. I was the only child, and suddenly Fairchild Enterprises was mine to run or ruin." She absently straightened papers on her desk. 9 years later, here we are. "The company's worth twice what it was when I took over." "That's impressive." "It's empty," she said, then looked startled by her own admission. "I mean, it's fulfilling in its way, but not what I'd dreamed for myself." The vulnerability in her confession struck Tyler. "Maybe it's not too late to change course," Paige laughed, but without humor. $8 billion doesn't leave much room for career experimentation." Tyler whistled. "I knew you were wealthy, but that's..." He trailed off, suddenly aware of the vast gulf between them. "Does that make you uncomfortable?" she asked directly. "Should it?" Most people react differently once they know. Tyler returned to mounting the shelf. "I figured you were rich when I saw the penthouse. 8 billion or 8 million, either way, it's more money than I'll ever see. Doesn't change who you are as a person." Paige watched him work for a moment. "You're different, Tyler, just honest." He stepped back to check the shelf's alignment. "All set, what's next?" As weeks passed, Paige found more projects for Tyler: installing lighting in her garden, building custom bookshelves, refinishing antique furniture she'd acquired. Each time, their conversations deepened. Tyler learned about her isolated childhood with distant parents and boarding schools. Paige discovered Tyler's dreams of designing sustainable housing and his devotion to giving Lily stability despite their financial struggles. One evening, after Tyler had installed a swing in Paige's small backyard garden, she impulsively asked, "Would Lily like to see it? The swing, I mean." "It seems silly to install a swing no one will use." Tyler hesitated. His two worlds, work and family, rarely intersected, and bringing Lily into the orbit of someone as wealthy and sophisticated as Paige seemed risky. Yet something about Paige's tentative smile made him nod. She'd love that. She's been curious about where I've been spending so much time lately. The following Saturday, Tyler brought Lily to the brownstone. His daughter, usually talkative, grew shy when Paige opened the door. "You must be Lily," Paige said, kneeling to the girl's level. "Your dad has told me so much about you." Lily glanced up at Tyler, then back to Paige. "You're pretty. Dad said you were, but you're really, really pretty." Tyler's face flushed. "Lily," Paige laughed, a genuine sound that transformed her face. "Thank you, Lily, that's very kind." "Would you like to see the swing your dad built for me?" Lily nodded eagerly, her shyness evaporating. "Dad builds the best things. He made me a dollhouse for Christmas." "Did he? I'd love to see that sometime." As Lily swung in the garden, Paige and Tyler sat on the patio watching her. "She's wonderful," Paige said. "You've done an amazing job with her." "I'm trying. It's not easy being both parents." He watched Lily pump her legs higher. "Some days I worry I'm not enough." Paige turned to him. "Tyler, any fool can see you're a wonderful father." Their eyes met and something shifted between them. Tyler found himself noticing the flecks of gray in her blue eyes, the way her lips curved just slightly at the corners, the strand of hair that kept falling across her cheek. The moment broke when Lily called out, "Dad, watch how high I can go." "I see you, pumpkin. Be careful." The afternoon stretched into early evening. "Paige ordered pizza, my first time ordering delivery here," she admitted, and the three of them ate in her immaculate kitchen, Lily chattering about school and friends. As they prepared to leave, Lily asked innocently, "Can we come back again? Your house is nice and you're nice too." Paige looked to Tyler, uncertainty in her expression. "I'd like that very much if it's okay with your dad." That visit became the first of many. Sometimes Tyler would come alone to work on projects around the brownstone. Other times, he'd bring Lily, who grew increasingly comfortable with Paige. The billionaire CEO and the 8-year-old formed an unlikely friendship, bonding over Lily's love of drawing and Paige's collection of art books. One evening, after Lily had fallen asleep on Paige's sofa during a movie, Tyler carried his daughter to the guest bedroom. When he returned, he found Paige on the patio, wrapped in a light blanket against the spring evening chill. "She's out like a light," he said, joining her. "She had quite the day," Paige smiled. "I've never spent much time around children. She's remarkable. She likes you a lot." Tyler hesitated. "I do too." Paige turned to him, her expression unreadable in the dim light. "Tyler." "I know," he said quickly. "This is crazy." "You're well, you and I'm just a broke single dad doing odd jobs to make ends meet." "That's not what I was going to say." Paige moved closer. "I was going to say I feel the same way." The air between them changed, charged with possibility. Tyler reached out, brushing that persistent strand of hair from her face. "The thing is, Paige, I can't afford to make mistakes. Lily depends on me. And I can't afford to ignore something that feels this real." Her voice was soft but certain. "I've spent my entire adult life making practical decisions. For once, I want to follow my heart." Tyler's hand lingered on her cheek. "Are you sure about this? About me?" Instead of answering, Paige leaned forward and pressed her lips to his. The kiss was gentle at first, a question, then deepened as Tyler pulled her closer. When they finally broke apart, both were breathless. "Does that answer your question?" Paige whispered. Tyler smiled. "I think I need a little more clarification." This time when they kissed, it felt like coming home, like finding something neither had realized was missing. Their relationship evolved slowly, deliberately. Paige began joining them for simple family activities, trips to the park, movie nights, Sunday breakfasts. Tyler marveled at how naturally she fit into their lives, and how different she was from the polished business titan portrayed in financial magazines. The real Paige laughed at Lily's jokes, had a weakness for chocolate chip cookies, and preferred reading paperback mysteries to attending charity galas. With them, she found the home she'd never had. With her, Tyler found a partner who saw beyond his circumstances to the man he truly was. But reality inevitably intruded. 4 months into their relationship, photos of them appeared online, the billionaire CEO and her handyman lover, as the tabloids dubbed him. It doesn't matter, Paige insisted when Tyler showed her the article on his phone. They were having breakfast at his apartment, something Paige had insisted on despite its humble state. People will talk regardless of what we do. Your board members are quoted questioning your judgment. Tyler set his phone down. I don't want to cause problems for you. My personal life is my business, not theirs. Paige reached for his hand. Besides, they can't argue with results. The company's performance has only improved since I met you. Because you're actually taking time off to rest instead of working 20 hours a day, Tyler pointed out. Paige smiled. Exactly my point, you're good for me. Despite her reassurances, Tyler felt the weight of the disparity between them. The following week, when Paige invited him to a charity gala as her official date, his insecurities surfaced. I don't belong in that world, Paige, he said as they walked through the park, Lily running ahead to the playground. I don't own a tuxedo. I wouldn't know which fork to use. You think I care about that? Paige stopped, turning to face him. Tyler, I'm inviting you because I want you there with me. She faltered, then took a deep breath. Because I love you. The words hung between them, momentous and real. Tyler stared at her, this extraordinary woman who'd somehow fallen into his ordinary life. I love you too, he said, the words feeling inadequate for the depth of his feelings. But that doesn't change the reality of our situations. Then let's change the reality. Paige's eyes were bright with determination. Tyler, I've been thinking. I want to step back from day-to-day operations at Fairchild Enterprises. What? Paige, you can't give up your company for me. Not for you, for me. For us, maybe. She took his hands. Remember when I told you I wanted to be an architect? I've been taking online courses. I want to pursue that dream, to design sustainable housing like you've always wanted to build. Tyler's mind raced with possibilities. You're serious? Completely. I'll remain on the board, but I'm appointing a new CEO. I want to create a foundation focused on affordable, environmentally sustainable housing. And I want you to partner with me not as my employee, but as my equal. Paige, I don't have the education, but you have the experience, the vision, and the heart, she insisted. You could finish your engineering degree. We could build something meaningful together. The idea took root in Tyler's mind, a chance to realize his dreams, to provide security for Lily, to build a future with the woman he loved. But one concern remained. What about Lily? She's already lost one mother. I can't let her get attached if I love Lily, Paige said simply. She's part of why I love you. I would never do anything to hurt her. From the playground, Lily waved, and they both waved back. We should talk to her, Tyler said. She needs to be part of this decision. That evening, they sat Lily down and carefully explained their relationship and Paige's proposal for their future work together. Lily considered this seriously. So you'd be like my stepmom, Paige caught her breath. That would be up to you and your dad, sweetheart. But you love my dad, right? And you love me. Very much, Paige said, her voice thick with emotion. Lily nodded decisively. Then it's okay with me, but Dad has to finish school first. He always says education is important. Tyler laughed, pulling his daughter into a hug. When did you get so grown up? I've always been grown up, Lily said seriously. You just didn't notice. 6 months later, Tyler enrolled in engineering courses while Paige launched the Fairchild Foundation for Sustainable Housing. Their first project, renovating an abandoned apartment building into affordable, energy-efficient units for single-parent families. The morning of the groundbreaking ceremony, Tyler found Paige in their kitchen. They'd moved into the brownstone together the previous month, staring at architectural renderings. Nervous? He asked, wrapping his arms around her waist. Terrified, she admitted. What if I'm terrible at this? You won't be, he kissed her neck. And if you are, we'll figure it out together. That's what partners do. She turned in his arms. I have something for you. She reached into her pocket and pulled out a small velvet box. Tyler raised his eyebrows. Traditionally, I think I'm supposed to be the one with the box. When have we ever been traditional? She opened the box, revealing not a ring but a key. This is the key to our first project site. I had it cast in silver. I thought maybe someday it could be mounted beside another important key. Tyler's heart swelled with understanding. Are you proposing to me, Paige Fairchild? I'm proposing a lifetime of building things together. Her eyes shimmered with emotion. Homes, projects, a family. From the doorway came Lily's voice. "Say yes, Dad, I already helped her pick out your ring." They turned to find Lily grinning, still in her pajamas. Tyler laughed, overwhelmed with love for these two remarkable females who had transformed his life. "Well, if you both have it all planned out, who am I to argue?" He pulled Paige close and kissed her, their future stretching before them, not one of billionaire and handyman, but of partners, builders, and family. 1 year later, they married in the garden of the brownstone, with Lily as their flower girl and ring bearer. The ceremony was small, attended by only close friends and the families who had moved into their first completed housing project. As they exchanged vows beneath an arbor Tyler had built, Paige wore her grandmother's pearl necklace, the treasured possession that had once seemed like her only meaningful inheritance. Now she knew better. Her true inheritance was the capacity to love and be loved in return. That night, after Lily was asleep, they sat on the patio swing Tyler had built the day their relationship truly began. "Happy?" Tyler asked, his arm around his wife. Paige looked at their home, thought of the daughter sleeping upstairs and the husband beside her. "More than I ever imagined possible. You moved more than my furniture that day, Tyler Donovan. You moved my heart." "Best moving job I ever took," he replied, pulling her closer as they swung gently under the stars, their shared future as solid as the foundation they'd built together.